Hey guys, I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome to Shattered Ministries. My name is Matthew, and I'm so grateful to have you part of the community. And if you're just checking us out, great, we're glad to have you. And today is a really, really special day. It is called Good Friday, traditionally. Good for us Friday, really. And as I was thinking about it and thinking about what might be a great topic for today, I wanted to dive into isolation again, because I know that one of the most crippling, challenging things that I ever faced personally, and I feel like a lot of us probably are going through, is feeling completely alone. And the thing is that at the end of the day, none of us are alone, even if it feels like it. And I wanted to read you something because I thought it was an amazing passage, because, Jesus walked this world with a lot of people, but he had chosen the 12, the disciples. And this is a part of what happened on the day that Jesus got arrested. And so this is from Luke, and this is Luke chapter 22, and starting in verse 54. And it says, having arrested him, they led him away and brought him to the house of the high priest. But Peter was following at a distance. And after they had kindled a fire in the middle of the courtyard and sat down together, Peter was sitting among them. And a certain servant girl, seeing him as he sat in the firelight and looking intently at him, said, this man was with him too. But he denied it, saying, woman, I don't know him. And a little later another saw him and said, you are one of them too. But Peter said, man, I am not. And then after about an hour had passed, another man began to insist, saying, certainly this man also was with him, for he is a Galilean too. But Peter said, man, I do not know what you are talking about. And immediately while he was speaking, a cock crowed. And then the Lord turned and looked at Peter. And Peter remembered the word of the Lord, and how he had told him, before the cock crows today, you will deny me 3 times. And he went outside and wept bitterly. Wow. The wow isn't so much about what Peter did as much as, one of the things that the Bible says is one of the reasons Jesus came was so that he could walk in skin, walk in this dirt, walk among us, live a life on this planet, live among his creation, so that he would be able to identify with everything that we go through. And I don't know about y'all, but that denial from Peter stings for a lot of reasons for me, because there have absolutely been times in my life where I've basically told the Lord to just kick rocks because I had the wrong perspective. I was tied up in all of this anger and frustration. And it's kind of like I talked before about, I'm reading this book, this amazing book, and I'll put a link to it below. It's called Forgiveness. And one of the things that the gentleman who wrote it said is that if you allow bitterness and resentment and unforgiveness to build up in you and start believing those lies that the enemy is spitting in your ear, that it will eventually warp your perspective to feel like God created you just to torture you. And I used to feel that way when I was believing all of those lies. And then I had a radical encounter with grace that really transformed my life. And so the reason I wanted to share that with y'all today is that Jesus lived that. One of his best friends, within earshot of Jesus while he's being arrested, while he's getting ready to go to the cross, absolutely denies even knowing him. And so how much does that resonate with you, as far as we have friends, we have people in our lives who've probably turned their backs on us at different points in our life when we really, really, really needed them. And it stings. It is excruciatingly painful to look around for the people that you are really expected to, your ride or dies, the people that said, hey man, we're gonna be friends, friends to the end. And the thing is, Jesus knew what that kind of betrayal felt like. I mean, Judas, he saw that coming because, he saw it all coming. But Judas was a bad guy from the beginning. But the fact that Peter, one of Jesus' closest, most trusted friends, denied him. And, it's amazing to me that Jesus really did not just suffer the way that he suffered going to the cross and the beating that he took to fulfill the prophecy that by his stripes we are healed. But the fact that the excruciating agony emotionally that Jesus went through, as one by one, everyone that he knew and loved basically was saying, I've never met the man. And so I just want to encourage you today that if anyone can understand what you're going through and really understand it, and if anybody, it's like I've said before, the only person who knows you better than anyone else will ever know you and loves you more than anyone else will ever love you is Jesus. And just reading that passage and seeing what he was going through when he absolutely would have appreciated a friend is it just speaks to my spirit, to my heart, resonates with me that Jesus doesn't just know me better than anybody else and love me more than anybody else, but he understands what we're going through more than anyone else. Because I've never been put on trial, persecuted, and hung from a cross unjustly. And he was going through all of that. And so he understands what it feels like to be isolated. He absolutely understands what it feels like to be betrayed. Not just by one dude, but by his best friends. And so I just want to let you know that I'm so glad you're on this journey with us. I'm so glad that we're getting to press into these things together, because this is what he wants you to know. It's that he loves you, he cares about you, and all that he really desires is a relationship with you. So I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate all of the people who've been commenting. Thank you for the guys who have jumped on the Facebook page, and you don't have to become a member of the Facebook page to send me messages through Messenger. But I really appreciate the feedback, getting to interact with a lot of y'all. And, I know that we are just so grateful for your participation in this community. I love y'all. Have a really blessed weekend. And just remember, Sunday's coming. Talk to y'all later. Bye.